Hi, I'm Malcolm.
Hello, everybody. My name is Harris Pick.
Yeah, my name is Miles. I go as Miles from home.
I'm Justine Tyrell, R&B artist.
And you're listening to Background Noise, the coolest Canadian music podcast.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Background Noise today. My name is Tora, and I am stoked for today's episode. I'll do a little pre-warning here. A pit might open up in your living room or your office, depending on where you're listening. You might hurt your neck if you're not a regular thrasher, because this episode is going to be awesome and heavy and metal AF. It's going to be great. We are chatting with Revelator, this black metal band from Edmonton area. And it's just, I was listening to the songs before the show. Phenomenally well mixed as well too, especially for being metal songs. So I can't wait to dive into that. But as always, I like to get the show started. I'll just let you tell us a little bit about yourselves, your journey with music, this project, and kind of your shtick.
Sure. Thank you, Tora. We are Revelator. We started this band or project in 2017, approximately. Lee and myself have been playing music together for decades, and this was something that we started with the intention of just being a studio project, just the two of us, and we released 2 demo cassettes under that format, just Lee and I doing all the instrumentation, all the recordings. And as those demos gained traction and sold out, we started toying with the idea of putting together a lineup and playing shows and morphing it into an actual band. And so that's what happened approximately 3 years ago, and thus the release of the record Light the Devil's Fire this past September.
Right on. And we'll talk about those earlier demos like way later in the episode here, but that is freaking epic, knowing that for the first demo, it was just you two making that much sound. That is awesome.
That's pretty fun. Yeah. Yeah, and it's easy to control that way as well. So it might appear to be difficult, but in a sense, you've only got 2 people to coordinate as opposed to 5. So maybe sometimes it's a little bit more streamlined that way.
Right on. Right on. Let's talk about that newest record that you actually just put out at the end of 2025, give or take. I think it was September. Light the Devil's Fire. We'll start at first. Just tell me a bit about that title track. We'll spin it, and then we'll get into the album a little more itself after that.
Great. Light the Devil's Fire, the song, I think, was the last that was written for the record, even to the point of maybe only being 6 weeks old when we did go into the studio to record it. So it was very new. We were still fleshing out the ideas. Lyrically, it does really sum up well what we represent. Our rhetoric has a foundation in the occult, and so it is very representative of Revelator. It has strong melody, but is still a very black metal song that is true to those roots.
Nice. Yeah, let's spin that right away here. Light the Devil's Fire by Revelator. And then when we come back, I want to dive a little bit more into that album itself. We are back. Thank you so much for tuning in to Background Noise today. My name is Tora, and we are chatting with this absolutely killer black metal band, Revelator. We just listened to the title track off of their 2025 album. It is their newest album called Light the Devil's Fire. But I want to dig a little bit more into the album itself because, like, as a whole, phenomenal. Guys, why don't you tell me a little bit about that album?
Started off just Brad and I writing some songs, and then once everybody else kind of realized the vision too that we were jamming with and stuff, it just sort of came together. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and like we discussed, it was just the two of us prior, and so with the inclusion of the other members, we opened up a new realm of inputs, ideas, and so more flourishes continued to add, and it really helped develop our sound. Like we mentioned, Lee and I have been working together for a very long time, so bringing in other influences from the other members really helped progress the sound to where it is.
Definitely, yeah.
Right on. And where did you go about recording this album?
We did it at with Rob Lawless, actually. Yeah, sort of some of it in a studio room that we rented out, and some of it at his house. Yeah, it was pretty slick.
Yeah, it was. Because when I was listening to the show, all I could think of is this is phenomenally mixed. So shout out to him. I'm actually going to school for...
Recorded it. Derek Orthner did the mix, and Derek went to town on it and like reamped the guitars and made it really come together. Rob did a great job with the drums, as he always does, and the final like product is a bunch of people doing what they do really well, and yeah, without them it wouldn't be what it is.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Now, I want to talk about some of the songs on there as well, too. One of the other ones that really stuck out to me was Death Serenade. Why don't you tell me a bit about that song?
Great, yeah, and so with our writing, every member contributes. I would say that Lee and I do the majority of the writing. Lee is our drummer, but is also a very accomplished guitar player, so he will contribute a lot of riffs, a lot of structure ideas. Death Serenade is a great example because it includes ideas and riffs from both he and I. It has some very catchy melodic elements, some very Motorhead, Battery, Venom sort of elements, some death metal elements, and so it's kind of like an octopus. It's going all over the place, but there's a real sense of cohesion there as well. We're not afraid to wear our influences on our sleeves whatsoever. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We are a black metal band. We're not trying to do something new, but we do put our own spin on it in a sense that we take sort of from every corner and make it all come together and sound really cohesive.
Right on. I love that. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Like sometimes you can pick your genre and just do it super well. And I think you guys absolutely nailed that. Another one of the songs, you're welcome. Another one of the songs off that album as well is He Who Reveals Grand Wisdom, which I do believe was on your first demo tape as well. But it was revamped and revisited a little bit in this new album. I think it did sound a little bit different. So maybe when we talk about the first demo, we can talk about some of those differences. But why don't you tell me a bit about those songs or that song?
Sure. And you're right, it was on our first demo. And I think that song was the first that was written for the Revelator project. And I myself had taken a step back from music for a few years, and I wrote that song and showed it to Lee, and we sort of observed that we had something there. It certainly is very simple. It's very catchy. And it's got a real groove to it. There are occult sounding ritualistic keyboards in there, and it's something you can really bob your head to. Lyrically, and the title itself really speaks to what we represent. He who reveals grand wisdom. We know who he is.
Amazing. And what does your songwriting process kind of look like? Where do you get your influences from?
The devil. That certainly plays a part, and we never sit down with the intention to. We don't have an idea in place, in the sense that, I'm going to write a song that sounds like this. We've been listening to this genre of music since the 1980s.
Oh, come on, man. I only listen to this shit on the weekend.
Yeah. And so it's effortless when we pick up an instrument. We don't try to sound like anything. It's just an accumulation of us being real fans of this music for our entire lives.
Amazing. We're going to spin both those songs right away here. We got Death Serenade and He Who Reveals Grand Wisdom off of Revelator's 2025 album, Light the Devil's Fire. And then when we come back, you sent me some killer tracks from some other local bands as well. So I can't wait to give those a spin and chat about those guys. We are back. Thank you so much for tuning into Background Noise today. My name is Tora, and we are chatting with the guys from Revelator. I hope your necks aren't hurting too much because we are still going to be thrashing. It is now my favorite part of the show where these guys sent me a couple of tracks for the show here, and they are absolutely killer. The first one we are going to listen to is The Cosm Dims by Grand Mal. That's off their album Oblivion Sermons. Why don't you tell me a bit about those guys?
They jammed down the hallway from us at the rehearsal place. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
they're pretty cool guys.
We played some shows with Grand Mal. One of their members was in Revelator for a couple years as well. So there's certainly some incestuous relationship there. We play with them. We're in the same rehearsal space. We've shared a member. So great band, great dudes.
Right on. Homies support homies. I love it. The other one we're going to listen to as well is Like and Lust from Warwolf. And I love that band name. That is very fun. Why don't you tell me about those guys? This song also is the only one they have out. So it's very new and very fresh, which is super cool.
Yeah, Warwolf, I believe, is working on an EP or full length that should be out soon, as well as a video. Those guys have been involved in Edmonton heavy metal for a very long time as well.
Yes,
Great guys. We are playing a show with them in Lethbridge and Calgary in May, and we look forward to that. Hails to Warwolf.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then the last one we'll spin in this group as well is Mortal Riff by Black Pestilence. Tell me a bit about those guys.
Black Pestilence, they're in Calgary. Revelator hasn't played with them. I believe Lee's other projects, Begrime Exemius, probably has over the last couple decades.
I'd say, yeah, probably.
Black Pestilence has been active for at least a decade. They've got 3 or 4 records out. They just returned from Japan. Great band. They mix some sort of cyberpunk influence into black metal sound. Awesome band.
Heck yeah, I can't wait to spin these 3 songs here. They are going to be awesome. Very fitting for all the songs we're playing today. So it's going to be The Cosm Dims by Grand Mal, Like and Lust by Warwolf, and Mortal Rift by Black Pestilence. And then when we come back, I'm going to bring it back to you guys. And I want to talk a bit about that first demo. We are back. Thank you so much for tuning into Background Noise today. We've just listened to a couple songs from some other great Alberta metal bands that Revelator shared with us here. Of course, I will link that in the bio so you guys can find that real easy. The band Warwolf as well too should be having an EP or a full length coming out very soon. They just have the one song out right now, which fantastic start, I gotta say. So we're gonna want to keep an eye and an ear on them for that. But I want to bring it back to you guys and talk a little bit more about that first demo that you have out. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it?
Oh yeah, we're nearing, I think, 8 years or so since it came out. I played guitar and did the vocals. Lee played drums, guitar, and bass. So again, it was just the two of us. And
We just sort of came together, yeah.
it came together as a passion project. We still listen to our cassette demos, purchase new ones, and so it was great to put out a tape. It sold out really quickly, so the response really surpassed our expectations and motivated us, or at least acknowledged that we had something here. And so it was
kept writing, basically.
it was motivation to keep writing, and it was released during a lot of personal chaos, and it really stands as a testament that regardless of what is happening in our lives, we will always play this music. We will always release it. You will have to kill us to stop us.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. I really do, because your guys' music is fantastic. I love it. And as we were saying off air, I'm even like using some of your tracks as reference tracks to help mix my own project for school, because I think they're so well done that I instantly a big fan.
And sorry to interrupt. I'd also like to mention that Lee did the mixing, mastering, all that sort of stuff on the first demo. So as well as songwriting, playing drums, playing guitar, he's pushing all the buttons too. So He's one talented motherfucker, this guy here.
Damn, just a man of so many talents.
So many.
Now, one of the songs, we played it a little bit earlier in the show here because you have it on your 2025 album, your newer one, Like the Devil's Fire. He Who Reveals Grand Wisdom. You also have that on the demo. We won't play both of them, but I do implore you to go and listen to both of them and think what you think is the difference. But why don't you tell us kind of the little nuances and the difference and kind of your reason for re-releasing it as well.
You know what? The reason it's different on both releases is because why make it twice? You have to, if you're going to redo a song, you should try to bring something else to it that makes it different. That's why, honestly. And
exactly. And it was almost our identifying song that people recognized and really enjoyed. So it was a great track. We had an opportunity to record it maybe in a more professional setting, and we wanted to. And again, we always discuss as we put out more and more full lengths, why not include one of the demo songs? They're great songs. Let's elaborate on them a little bit more.
Love that. Another one of the songs off the demo too that huge fan of. And anyone who's listened to the show before knows I do love songs with very long titles. As soon as it has a longer title, I'm like, oh, this one's coming into the mix. So The Earth Shall Reclaim Us All. Why don't you tell me a bit about that song?
Wow. Yeah. And another early track that we have not revisited since it was recorded. It's not something that we jammed out, and I think both of us are kind of pondering a little bit what it even sounds like, just because there's probably 30 Revelator songs now.
yeah.
I think the title is self-explanatory in terms of the cycles of life. We're glad you enjoyed it. Maybe that's a contender to record for full length number 2.
Yeah.
It's got my vote. It's got my vote. So another one we'll spin off that album here, and then we'll play them both. And then unfortunately we do have to wind down the show, but I do have one more song we'll talk about, but we'll deal with that when we get there. The other one I want to talk about, I thought this one was very suiting. The Devil's Lurkin'. Why don't you tell me a bit about that song?
Oh, wow. That song touches on some of the chaos that I alluded to prior. And I think I will leave it at that because we've moved past some things in our lives. Lee and I are in our mid to late 40s, and we certainly enjoy our lives and live deliciously, but maybe a little bit more responsibly, because that devil is always lurking.
Oh, yeah. It's always there.
It's always there.
Right on. We're going to spin those two tracks. We got The Earth Shall Reclaim Us All and The Devil's Lurkin' off of Revelator's demo tapes. So go ahead, listen to the whole one, and especially the He Who Reveals Grand Wisdom, because they re-recorded it. And like I said, think to yourself what you think the difference are and what one you like more. And then when we come back, unfortunately, do have to wind down the show a little bit. All good things got to come to an end. But we do have one more song and one more album that we haven't talked about yet. are back. Thank you so much for tuning into Background Noise today. I hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I did, and your necks aren't too sore, and nobody got too injured in the pit that inevitably opened up in your living room or workspace. I hope a pit did open up. That's not the point of metal. I don't know what is. We do have to wind down the show now, but there is one more song I want to chat about, and we actually haven't talked about this album at all yet either. And this is off Revelator 2 demos. And so before we get into the song, why don't you tell me about number 2?
Wow. Number 2, if demo number 1 was chaotic, number 2 was even more so in terms of outside factors contributing to the sound and even contributing to the ideas, the focus.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. There's a
line,
track listing error that I will take responsibility for.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on as our lives were transitioning, and I think some of that chaos and desperation reflects in the songs. Perhaps there's a little less groove and melody in that demo and a little bit more aggression and hatred and frustration.
Yeah, it was a little bit more pissed off.
Yeah, it was a lot more pissed off.
Hey, emotions make good music though, and that's why we have music, is to express those and get through that.
That's very true. Yeah.
Hell.
One of the songs I want to play off of that album, again, love songs with very long names, Beyond the Realm of the Mortal World. Love that title. Why don't you tell me a bit about that song?
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's a song that we've discussed bringing back for another full length. We haven't jammed it as a band. That song didn't move past the demo stage with just Lee and I, but it is one that some of the members have shown in. Some of our full members now have shown interest and suggested, yeah, that would be a good one to even play live.
Nice. Now, what do your live shows kind of look like? I assume they're pretty epic, but what's the vibe?
Wow, yeah, there's lots of leather, lots of bullets and head banging. We'll typically play for 30 to 40 minutes and just do it real fast and quick and raw. We stay true to the heavy metal, the black metal aesthetic. That's very important to us. And it's also important to watch a show and feel some energy. In a prior project that we were involved with, it was very important for us to almost bring some violence to the live show. And as times have changed, I myself especially realize I can't do that any longer. So it is dialed in a little bit more. There's no more jumping into the crowds and taking out audience members and things like that. Maybe that's due to our age as well.
And Al doesn't have deck screws on his bass anymore.
That's right. Yeah. But it's still very, we don't just stand and look at our shoes. There's lots going on. There's a lot of passion. We are exercising very deeply rooted beliefs in what we do. And it's evident when we play live.
Amazing. Well, I will be keeping an eye on you guys for when you play a show in Edmonton again. I would love to come and catch one. In the meantime, though, is there anything in particular we should be keeping an eye and an ear out on you for?
Our next shows are tentatively March, May, and June. So there's nothing in the immediate future, us being now middle of January. So keep an eye on our Instagram. We do post semi-regularly there. We are accessible through social media. The demos and albums are streaming on all streaming services. So we are around, we are accessible and easily found.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys again so much for taking the time to come on the show. It was awesome to chat about your tunes and your albums.
Thanks so much, Dorothy. It's great that you have us. Thank you.
This is Beyond the Realm of the Mortal World from Revelator.
the mother of darkness.